So last time we talked about Brahmaji's statements, "Are you not Narayana?" And he's basically questioning Krishna. So he gave the description of Nara means aggregate of all living beings. Ayana means a refuge of all of these living beings. So Narayana means a refuge of all the living beings. Then he gave the second proof. The direct lords of living beings are Purusha incarnations, but the opulence and power are more exalted than theirs. He's saying, therefore, you are the primeval Lord, the original Father of everyone, and they are the protectors of universes by your power. Then the third point he's saying is, since you protect those who are the shelters of all living beings, you are definitely the original Narayana. So, and the Lord is seeing the deeds in both the material world and the spiritual world, in the past, present, and future. So he's seeing all of our deeds. And he's saying, since you are the witness of all such deeds, you know the essence of everything. And he's saying all the worlds exist because you oversee them. None can live, move, or have their being without your supervision. Because the Lord is overseeing all these worlds, everything is happening. And also the Lord oversees the wanderings of all living beings. And we talked about the verse from Bhagavad Gita, Upadrishta Anumantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaram. And since the Lord is able to see the wanderings of all living beings, not just one or two, that's the reason Brahma is stating that he is the primeval Narayana. And then Krishna was saying, we discussed this also, I cannot understand what you're saying. Lord Narayana sits in the heart of all living beings as Paramatma and lies in the water of the Karna ocean. That's why he's given the name of Karnodakshay Vishnu. And then Brahma replied, what I've said is true. The same Lord Narayana who lives on the waters and in the hearts of all living beings is a plenary portion, means he's simply a fraction of who you are. The Karnodakshay, Garbhodakshay, and Kshirodakshay all create in cooperation with the material energy. In this way, they are attached to Maya. So Brahma's point is even Karnodakshay, Garbhodakshay, and Kshirodakshay Vishnus have some relation with Maya. They are using Maya's potency, etc. But Krishna is above all of this. So that is the key point that is being made here. Then we also talked about Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the super soul of all aggregate of living entities. Kshirodakshay Vishnu is the super soul of each individual living being. And then the point is, superficially we see these Purushas have a relationship with Maya, but above them, in the fourth dimension is Lord Krishna. So Lord is not in the three-dimensional world that we are in. He is in the fourth dimension. In the material world, the Lord is designated as Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Karana. But beyond these three designations, the Lord is ultimately in the fourth dimension. Although these three features of the Lord deal directly with material energy, none of them are touched by it. They are all beyond illusion. So these three, Karnodakshay, Garbhodakshay, and Kshirodakshay, are in contact with Maya, but still they are not touched by Maya. They are above the Supreme, above the Maya, since they are plenary portions of the Supreme Lord. So we'll now come to text 55. Etadish Ishanam Ishasya
एतदीशनम् ईशस्य
प्रकृष्टो अपि तद्गुणैः
प्रकृतोस्तपि तद्गुणैः
आयुज्यते सदात्मास्तैर्
न युज्यते सदात्मास्ते
यथा बुद्धिस्तदाश्रय.
यथा बुद्धिस्तदाश्रय.
This is the opulence of the Lord, although situated in material nature. He is never affected by the modes of nature. Similarly, those who have surrendered to Him and fixed their intelligence upon Him are not influenced by the modes of nature. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of personality of Godhead do not identify with material world even while living in it. Pure devotees may deal with three modes of material nature, but because of their transcendental intelligence in Krishna consciousness, they are not influenced by material qualities. So just like these three lords are in contact with Maya, but they are not in contact with Maya. Similarly, the pure devotees are also like that. They are in contact with Maya, but they are actually not in contact with Maya. Therefore, Supreme Lord and his devotees acting under him are always free from material contamination. So Lord and his devotees are always free from material contamination. So it's saying that if we become serious in our devotional life, Maya cannot touch us even. So Maya cannot touch anybody if we are serious about devotion. Of course, in the meantime, Maya will test us many times. And that's why you see good devotees suddenly stopping devotional service. So we have to be careful. सेति न जनेरा तुमी परम आश्रयम तुमी मूल नारायण इते की संशय
तुमी मूल नारायण इति के संशय
You are the ultimate shelter of these plenary portions. Thus, there is not the slightest doubt that you are the primeval Narayana. It's clearly being said that he is the primeval Narayana. Very clearly it's being said. Okay, Manoj, please read the purport. Manoj, you are on mute.
The source of the three. Brahma has confirmed that Lord Krishna is the supreme, the source of the three manifestations known as Kshirodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Karnadaksha Vishnu, Mahavishnu. For his pastimes, Lord Krishna has four original manifestations, namely Vasudeva, Shankarsan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. The first Purusha avatar, Mahavishnu in the Kaushal Ocean, who is the creator of the aggregate material energy, is an expansion of Sankarasana. The second Purusha, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, is an expansion of Pradyumna. And the third Purusha, Kshirodaksha Vishnu, is an expansion of Aniruddha. All these are within the category of manifestations of Narayana, who is a manifestation of Sri Krishna.
So the Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. These three expand as these three different types of Vishnus. So what happened to Vasudeva? Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna. What happened to Vasudeva? Any thoughts? There are four Purusha avatars, I mean, four expansions, right? Primary expansions. So what happened to Vasudeva? So think about it. Answer is coming up later. Seti nera amsi pravyoma narayanam. Yena tomara vilasa tumi mula narayana. The source of these three features is the Narayana in the spiritual sky. He is your Vilasa expansion. Therefore, you are the ultimate Narayana. So that fourth feature is none other than Narayana or Sri Krishna. Ateva Brahma Vakye Paravyoma Narayana.
Ateva Brahma Vakya
Teno Krishnera Vilasa E Tattva Vivarana. Therefore, according to the authority of Brahma, the Narayana, who is the predominating deity in the transcendental world, is but the Vilasa feature of Krishna. This has now been conclusively proved. ये श्लोके तत्त्वलक्षण भागवत सार परिभाषा रूपे इहार सर्वत्राधिकार. The truth indicated in this verse is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. This conclusion through synonyms applies everywhere. So, what is the truth that has been said? We have to go back to see what the truth was. The Narayana, who is the predominating deity in the transcendent world, is a Vilasa feature, Prabhava Vilasa. There are two, Prakasa Vilasa. There are two different features of Krishna. This is a Vilasa feature of Krishna, and the author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says this is now conclusively proved. Brahma Atma Bhagavan Krishnera Vihara. ये अर्थ ना जानी मूर्ख अर्थ आराम.
ये
Not knowing that Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are all features of Krishna, foolish scholars speculate in various ways. So this is the key point. Foolish scholars will say Krishna is one avatar. No, Krishna is the source. Right? So you have Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarshana. So Vasudeva is the source of the remaining three. And Vasudeva is Krishna. So people don't know this Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan are all features of Krishna. Avatari Narayana Krishna Avataram.
Avatari Narayana Krishna Avatara.
Tena Chaturbhuja Inha Manusya Akara.
येन चतुर्भुजाय मनुष्याकार
Because Narayana has the four fans where Krishna just looks like a man, they say that Narayana is the original God, whereas Krishna is but an incarnation. So they say Krishna comes from Narayana. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says Narayana comes from Krishna. Exactly the opposite. Some scholars argue because Narayana has four hands, Krishna has two. Narayana is the original personality and Krishna is his incarnation. Such unintelligent scholars do not understand the features of the Absolute. Ema te nana rupa kare purva paksham.
Mate nana rupa kare purva paksha.
Tahare nirjita bhagavata padya daksham.
Tahare nijita bhagavata
In this way, their arguments appear in various forms, but the poetry of Bhagavatam expertly refutes them all. What does refute mean? What does refute mean?
To refuse, Prabhu?
To prove it wrong. That is called refute.
Yeah.
So to
Right.
prove Vadanti tat tattvavidas
Vadanti tattvavidas
tattvam yajnanamadhyam
advayam
brahmeti paramatmeti
Paramatmeti
bhagavaniti syabhyate.
Bhagavaniti sabdhati.
Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth say that this non-dual knowledge is called impersonal Brahman, the localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is just being repeated here. So if somebody is a learned transcendentalist, they will understand God in three forms: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. सुने भाई ये श्लोका करह विचारम एक मुख्य तत्व तीन आहार प्रचार. My dear brothers, kindly listen to the explanation of this verse and consider its meaning. The one original entity is known in his three different features. So that original entity is Krishna, coming as Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. Advaya Jnana Tattva Vastu Krishnera Swarupam. Brahma Atma Bhagavan Tanra Rupam. Lord Krishna himself is the one undivided absolute truth, the ultimate reality. He manifests himself in three features as one, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, the principal word Bhagavan indicates the personality of Godhead, and Brahman and Paramatma are concomitant, deducted from the absolute personality. Means Brahma and Paramatma are the byproducts. Concomitant means something that happens along with it. So Bhagavan is always the personality of Godhead, and the other two are derivatives. As a government and its ministers are deductions from the supreme executive head. In other words, the principal truth is exhibited in three different phases. The absolute truth, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, is also known as Brahman and Paramatma. So the absolute truth, Krishna, is sometimes known as Brahman and Paramatma. Sometimes Krishna is referred to as Parabrahman. You must have heard that term, Parabrahman. So it's like a reference thing. Oh, something that's higher than Brahman. Para means beyond. Parabrahman means beyond Brahman. And sometimes he's referred to as Paramatma. Like people say, right? Sri Krishna Paramatma, like that they say. So he's both Brahman and Paramatma, but primarily he is Bhagavan. That's the point that one has to be very carefully cognizant of. He shlokera artha tumi haila nirvachanam.
He slokera tane tumi haila nirvachana.
Ara eka shuna bhagavate ravachanam.
Ara ekasuna bhagavate ravachana.
The import of this verse has stopped you from arguing. Now, listen to another verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's giving more evidence. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ete chamsha kalah pumshaha.
Ite chamsa kala pumsaha.
Kala pumsa.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Indrari Vyakulam Lokam.
Indradi Vyakulam Lokam.
Vidayanti Yuge Yuge.
Hridayanti yuge yuge.
All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of Purusha avatars. But Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. In every age, he protects the world through his different features. When the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra, Indrari Vyakulam. Vyakulam means something that is upset with the happenings around. So why are these people upset? Because the demons are coming and troubling them. Vyakul. Vyakulam means disturbance. Even in Hindi, sometimes people, how are you? Kaise ho? Vyakul ho. Means yeah. Okay, Sarvana, please read the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Purport. The statement of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28 definitely negates the concept that Sri Krishna is an avatara of Vishnu or Narayana. Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, the supreme cause of all causes. This verse clearly indicates that incarnations of the personality of Godhead, such as Sri Rama, Narasimha, and Varaha, all undoubtedly belong to the Vishnu group. But all of them are either plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of the original personality of Godhead, Lord Sri
Krishna.
Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
A lot of people say Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu. But here, this verse clearly states that Krishna is original and other of his avatars are the expansions of or plenary portions of that original Krishna. Saba avatare rakari samanya lakshanam.
Saba avatare rakari samanya lakshana.
Tara Madhya Krishna Chandrera Karila Ganana.
तारमध्ये कृष्ण चंद्रेर करिला गणना.
The Bhagavatam describes the symptoms and the deeds of the incarnations in general and counts Sri Krishna among them. So, Bhagavatam talks about Krishna. That's all they are saying. Tabe Sutta Goshani Mane Pana Bada Bhayam.
तबे सुता गोशानी माने पाना वद भाया.
Yara Ye Lakshana Taha Karila Nishchaya.
यारा
यारा ये लक्षणतः करिला निश्चय.
This made Sutta Goswami greatly apprehensive. Therefore, he distinguished each incarnation by its specific symptoms. So, Sutta Goswami is teaching the Srimad Bhagavatam to all the sages. He is recollecting the past when Sukadev Goswami was giving this knowledge to Maharaj Parikshit. So, it is just like a flashback. Sutta Goswami is giving this knowledge to the sages of Naimisharanya in Himalayas. You can go there even today. And he's recollecting how Sukadev Goswami gave this information. Sutta Goswami distinguishes the incarnations by the specific symptoms. Avatara Shaba Purushera Kala Amsham.
अवतार सब पुरुषेर काला अंसा.
Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Sarva Avatamsham.
स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण सर्ववंसा.
All the incarnations of Godhead are plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of Purusha avatars. But the primeval Lord is Sri Krishna. So if you know this, then you have good knowledge. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead. Right? What does fountainhead mean?
From where all the different fountains started.
No, that is fine. But what does fountainhead mean in English language?
Fountainhead. It may be like a point in some mountain.
No. Apparently, there's a movie with that name. But fountainhead means from where the water comes out. Have you seen a fountain ever? They're only talking about that movie.
Yes.
It's something like original source.
Original source.
Source.
Yes, original source. पूर्व पक्ष का है तुम्हारा भाला ते व्याख्यानाम.
पूर्व पक्ष का है तुम्हारा भला दा व्याख्यान.
परव्योम नारायण स्वयं भगवान.
परव्योम नारायण स्वयं भगवान.
An opponent may say this is your interpretation, but actually the Supreme Lord is Narayana, who is in the transcendental realm. So this you see even in our temple in Samamesh. We had Velukodi Krishna Swami from Tamil Nadu come. And he said, no. Supreme Lord is Narayana and Krishna is an avatar of him. Because that is the understanding of the Sri Vaishnavas. So, anticipating that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is already predicting that will happen. Tena asi Krishna rupe karena avataram.
Tena asi Krishna rupe karena avataram.
Ye artha shloke dheki kiyara vichara.
श्लोके देखी अरे विचारा.
He, Narayana, incarnates as Lord Krishna. This is the meaning of the verse as I see it. There is no need for further consideration. That's how people will say Narayana incarnated as Lord Krishna. Tareka hekene kara kutara kanumana.
तारे काहे के न कर कुटर कानुमाना.
Shastra viruddhartha kabu nahaya pramana.
शास्त्र विरोधार्थ कबु न है प्रमाण.
To such a misguided interpreter, we may reply, why should you suggest such a fallacious logic? Fallacious means wrong logic. An interpretation is never accepted as evidence if it opposes the principle of scripture. Anuvadamanuktvatu
Anuvadam
na vidheyamudhirayet
na videyam udare
nahi alabdhaspadam kinchet
na padam chet
rachet pratishtistati. One should not state a predicate before its subject. This is like English language basic principles. For it cannot stand without proper support. So, subject and predicate. So, subject should come first, predicate should come later. The same point is saying. The rhetorical rule appears in Ekadasi Tattva, 13th canto, in connection with metaphorical use of words. An unknown object should not be put before a known subject, because the object has no meaning if the subject is not first given. If you say went to school he, doesn't mean much, right? Like it's not grammatically correct. You say he went to school. So he is the subject and then predicate comes later. So that is true in English language also, but there is a book called Ekadashi Tattva. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting that, the grammatical rules. So why is he quoting that? To refute that you say, oh, Narayana is the source of Krishna. So to refute that argument, Srila Prabhupada is quoting this. Anuvada nakahiya nakahi videya. Aage anuvada kahi pashad videha. Videya. If I do not state a subject, I do not state a predicate. First, I speak the former, and then I speak the latter. No, you have to state the subject, and then you state the predicate, not in the opposite way. Just like went to school he doesn't mean any sense. You have to say he went to school. Videya kahiye tare ya vastu ajnata. Anuvada kahi tare ye hayajnata. The predicate of a sentence is what is unknown to the reader, whereas the subject is what is known to him. Predicate is unknown, subject is known. Again, these are all rules of grammar he is reiterating. Yache kahiye vipra parama pandita.
याचिका हि एति विप्र परम पंडिता
विप्र अनुवाद इहार विविधेय पंडित्य
विप्रानुवाद इहार विद्या पंडित
For example, we may say the Vipra is greatly learned man. In this sentence, Vipra is the subject and predicate is his erudition or learnedness. Right? So we say Vipra is great learned man. You don't say learned man is Vipra. That's not even, doesn't even sound very good.
Correct.
Vipratva vikyata tara panditya agnata.
विप्रत्वा विख्यात
Ataiva vipra age panditya paschat. The man being a vipra is known, but his erudition is unknown. Means his learnedness is unknown. Therefore, the person is identified first and his erudition or learnedness later. Right? Again, grammatical rules. Taiche inha avatara sabha hailegyata.
Avatara Sabha
Vara avatara evastu avignata. In the same way, all these incarnations were known, but whose incarnations they were was unknown. So we always knew, right? All these avatars are there from Puranas, from Bhagavad Gita, from Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam also gives the solution, the problem and the solution. But we did not know whose incarnations they were. We knew that the incarnations were coming. Ete sabde avatarera age anuvada. Purushera amsa pache vidheya samvada. The first, the word ete, these establish the subject, the incarnations. Just like we read about 5 verses ago. Ete chamsha kalapumsha. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So ete means establishing the subject, the incarnations. So incarnations is the subject and the source is discussed later. The plenary portions of the Purushavasaras follows as the predicate. Ete chamsha kalapumsha. Right? So the amsha, cha amsha means these incarnations. And predicate is the Purushavasaras, right? Which is ete chamsha kala pumsha. Kala means the portion of a portion. Portion of a portion is called kala. Taiche Krishna avatara bhitare haila jnata. Tanara vishesha jnana se avignata. In the same way, when Krishna was first counted among the incarnation, specific knowledge about him was still unknown. Right? If you look at a lot of Telugu movies, Tamil movies, to a certain extent Marathi movies, they always say Narayana or Vishnu is the source of the Dashavataras. And Krishna is one of them. Because at that point, people did not know who Krishna was. So the source wasn't known. They just said, oh, 10 avatars are coming out. That's it. So Krishna was also counted amongst the avatars. Ataiva Krishna Shabda Age Anuvada.
Ataiva Krishna Shabda Anuvada.
Swayam Bhagavata Piche Videya Samvada.
Swayam Bhagavata Videya Samvada.
All this commentary Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving for just one verse. Ete chamsha kalapumsha. Therefore, first the word Krishna appears as a subject, followed by the predicate describing him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan Swayam is the predicate, and Krishnastu. Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is original God, personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that. So grammatically, if you analyze that statement, Ete Chamsha Kalapumsha, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, you know that Krishna is the subject and Bhagavan is the predicate. Krishnera Swayam Bhagavata Iha Haila Sadhyam.
Krishnara Swayam Bhagavata Iha Sadhya.
Swayam Bhagavanera Krishnatva Haila Bhadya.
Soyam Bhagavan Krishna Haila.
This establishes that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. The original personality of Godhead is therefore necessarily Krishna. So, using the Srimad Bhagavatam verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj has proved grammatically using the subject predicate sequence. Subject should come before the predicate. He's saying, just analyzing that line, you cannot say that Krishna is an avatar, but Krishna is the source. He conclusively proved it for us. Krishna yadi amsha haite amshi narayana.
Jaya Diyam Sahita Amsi Narayana.
Tabe viparita haite sutera vachana.
Ave Viparita Ita Sutera Vachana.
Had Krishna been the plenary portion and Narayana the primeval Lord, means if Krishna is the source, right, Amsha, and sorry, if Krishna was the part and Amshi, the source was Narayana, then what is the problem? The statement of Suta Goswami would have been reversed, but it didn't reverse, right? It was Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Krishna is the Bhagavan. So again, grammatically proving that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is all based on parampara, right? So Suta Goswami made a statement maybe 4,800, 4,900 years ago, after Sukdev Goswami first taught this knowledge to Parikshit Maharaj. So when Suta Goswami was regurgitating it, he is saying that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if we reverse that sequence, then we will be proving Sukdev Goswami wrong, which is not correct. That's the point. Narayana Amshiye Swayam Bhagavan.
Narayana Amsi Swayam Bhagavan.
Tene Sri Krishna Aiche Karita Vyakyanam.
Sena Sri Krishna Iche Karita Vachana.
Thus, he would have said Narayana, the source of all incarnation, is the original personality of Godhead. He has appeared as Sri Krishna. If Narayana was the source, he would have said that, but he didn't say that. That's the point. He could have said that. Why did he not say that? That is the argument. It's almost like a legal argument. Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karana Patvam.
Brahma Brahmata Vikarita Karana Pattava.
Arsa Vigna Vakya Nahi Dosha E Sabha.
Asha Vigya Bhakya Nahi Dosha Dosha.
Mistakes, illusion, cheating, and defective perception do not occur in the sayings of authoritative sages. Normally, we are affected by these four things, like we make mistakes, we are under illusion, we cheat, and we have defective view. So because of defective view, we make mistakes, and then we fall into illusion, and then we start cheating. We twist statements, we come to wrong conclusions. So all these are as a result of the defective perception. Okay, so we'll stop there and chant. We can cover next week. Sri Krishna Chaitanya